So we're here at Hill Head today, just having a walk along the beach. It's October, it's a horrible flat grey day, but it's mild, and so we're just having a wander along the beach, and I've just come across this, which is, I believe, a fossil. Quiet, Eva. I believe this is a fossil. No, I'm not throwing this for you. So look at that. No. No, it's not for you. So I think we'll take that home. I just thought we'd take a closer look at this fossil that I found on the beach at Lee-On-The-Solent. It's similar to, this is a very common fossil that you find on the beaches on the Solent. This is Tarantella, and this is probably a medium-sized specimen, but actually quite good condition. Slight bit of shell missing off the point there. But this is a medium-sized specimen of a Tarantella. And these are really common. Great beginner's fossil actually, because you can pick these up on the beach after only a little bit of cursory searching. But this one, this is something I've only ever found a couple of times, and I'm not really sure what it is. I don't know whether it is just a very large species of Tarantella, or whether it's something else. But this is the most complete specimen of this I've ever found. They're typically only found after storms, because storms will disturb all of the sediments and churn everything up, and so bring new finds up to the surface. But as I say, this is the most complete specimen I've ever found. I found one that was maybe about that much of the shell before, and was broken here at the mouth of the shell more significantly than this one is. So that's quite a nice little find. That'll be going on my shelf of fossils. Not really sure what that is, so if anybody can identify that and wants to post on the video, then please do let me know. You've got quite a few other interesting things to look at here. This is more of the slipper limpets that we looked at in an earlier video. And there's quite a lot of these washed up all over the beach. And they're always in clusters like this. And a bit further up we saw something kind of weird. Let's see if I can find it again. There it is, there. So this orange rubbery thing here is an encrusting sponge, and so it's a kind of sponge that grows. There'll be a rock in the middle of that somewhere, and it kind of floats in the water and bobs along the bottom surface, or the seabed. But that's a kind of sponge, but it's called an encrusting sponge. Often after storms, and we have had some storms recently, you find hundreds of these washed up on the beach here. Sadly, just found a rather nasty and jagged piece of broken glass, so I'm going to carry that up to that bin up there and get rid of it. So yes, broken glass and fishing line, two things which, if I find them on the beach, I will always try and pick them up and dispose of them carefully. What about this one? She's fine. Eva. So out here on the spit, we've just come across Pete, who's digging for clams. Hard work apparently, but look, he's got a whole bucket full of clams, and may I? Yeah. And a shark's tooth. Look at that. Now, when I was a boy, I used to come out here and there were that many shark's teeth out here that you just find them lying on the top of the gravel. But I think people have collected them so much that they're a bit more of a rarity now. But there we go, shark's tooth, probably 60 odd million years old. Thanks, Pete.
You're right, thank you.
That's interesting, digging for clams. And so what, you just boil them up or something?
No, I sell them.
You sell them? Oh, right, okay.
That's what I do for a living.
Yeah, cool. Oh, right, okay. Cool. Okay, well, thanks for sharing with us. I think at this point it's actually quite interesting just to take stock of what this guy does. This guy, Pete, goes out every day and spends probably his whole day while the tide's out, bent over, scratching around in the shingle for a few handfuls of clamshells which he sells, and that's how he makes his living. That's actually quite a hard thing to do. and he's out there in all weathers. So, you know, I think actually my hat's off to him. Well, I think we've had the best of the day. There's a mist rolling in off the sea, and that's starting to spit with rain. Pete's still out there just packing up his clams on his little trolley. He's been out there for several hours, and we walked all the way down there. We just stopped at that little shack there to have sausage and chips and a nice cup of tea. So I think we've had the best of the day. Not that that is saying much, so time to head for home now. Thanks very much for joining me today, and thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.